Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks, and today I've got for you what's going to be a relatively short video, but kind of a continuation of a series. Well, I say a series, it's a set of videos that I've done a couple on now, which is how to play and set up a certain tank. And today we're going to be playing everybody's favourite cruise missile, the EBR 105. Now, the more keenly observant among you may have noticed that, Max, this doesn't seem very much like a random battle. No, that's because this is actually a ranked battle. So, yeah, 10v10, which is very nice. I play this tank slightly differently in this battle than I probably usually would because of the fact that the tank is ranked. And that is, you see me doing a really deep, aggressive spot at the start, because the one of the bonuses for the class in the EBR is getting initial spots on tanks. So I did a nice deep spot, get, what was that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 initial spots on enemy tanks there, which is very, very nice. And it also gives our team a nice idea of how many people are going up the hill. So, I did a nice deep spot, I then came out, made sure that I didn't take any damage, and now we're going to go back in. And obviously, unless you've been hiding under a rock, the EBR, the best thing to do in this tank, and the best way to play it, is to make sure that you're playing an active scouting role. You want to be on the move pretty much the whole time. Don't really stop ever. You can play it in bush, you can play more of a passive setup, but I prefer to play my a nice active setup. And that brings it nicely onto how the hell you're going to set this tank up. Sorry, alarm. Yeah, it comes into how you're going to set this tank up and how you're going to play it. So, 3 pieces of equipment. Number 1, you want to go for optics. The base view range of the EBR, one of the kind of, and I use this in the most sarcastic of inverted commas, balancing factors for the tank, is the fact that the base view range, so the actual number on the view range, is quite low. And as you can see, I haven't actually even got it up to 445. It's just slightly less than that. So you want to definitely be using coated optics. People who say, oh, you could put binos on the EBR, they are stupid. Because you, like I say, you want to play this tank as an active scout, and you always want to be on the move. Now, was that worth it, Mr. 430U? I'm just playing in this position here to try and get the enemy tanks out. I know where the Superconk is, I know where the 430U is, and we got the Leopard 1 out. And now the enemy team is capping. Because this is ranked, I knew they were going to start capping at some point. Our whole team went up to the top of the hill, took the hill, which is good, but I knew the enemy team was going to be capping. And this is where the next equipment setup comes in very, very nicely for me. I have Bounty Exhaust and CVS, which is very nice. I also have Bounty Optics, but obviously if you don't have Bounty Optics, then normal coated optics work just as well. I say just as well, not quite as well, but nearly as well. And all we're going to do is just come in. There's no point me YOLOing into the cap. I've got so many teammates in a good position to support, good position to be able to shoot down onto the cap. I just need to make sure that I stay alive and I spot for my team. And now that the base, the threat on the base is pretty much dealt with because the enemy team know they can't sit there, I'm going to go for one more deep spotting run, see if we can get a bit more damage on the Foch. You see here, the Foch doesn't even spot me. Someone did that time. I think it was the enemy EBR poke. But the Foch didn't even spot me then. And that's the insane thing about this tank with this setup. Now, a lot of you might be thinking, oh, hang on, you haven't got a gun rammer. And no, the EBR is actually one of the tanks I would recommend not taking a gun rammer on. Now, taking a gun rammer is not going to, is definitely a viable choice. You more than welcome to take a gun rammer. It is not going to let you down. Obviously, extra 10% DPM. Not going to argue that. However, because the DPM on the EBR is relatively low, I think it's like, what, a 10 or 11 second reload on the EBR, you're never going to be out DPMing anything, really. If you're trying to out DPM something whilst playing the EBR, you're playing it wrong. You need to make sure that you're going in, putting a shot in like an assassin, dropping back, and then reloading, going in again. So in that regard, if you're falling back, nothing else can catch you. You are the fastest tank in the game. So why do you need to reload an extra second faster if you're the one dictating the pace of the engagement? You don't. The only downside to not taking a gun rammer in this tank, nice shot on the Foch, Max. The only downside to not taking a gun rammer on this tank is 1v1s versus other EBRs. When you're in, I know, say a Clan Wars game or something like that, and you've both gone to one side of the map. Your whole team and the whole enemy team is the other side of the map, so there's no other outside factors, and you're just 1 versus 1 against another EBR. You're gonna not necessarily lose, because obviously move in, turn in, and burn in. It is difficult to hit an EBR whilst on the move at full speed, but that's the only real time you're actually gonna really struggle against not having a gun rammer is another 1v1 on an EBR. And personally, I think that downside is so much made up for by having that combination of optics and CVS, giving your view range, like making your view range higher and giving you massive spotting potential on being able to spot people behind bushes and taking away their camo, and also having that bounty low noise exhaust to just give you that massive amount of extra concealment. That combination means that you're going to outspot any other EBR that does have a gun rammer. Like, it's just simple fact. You're going to outspot every other EBR as long as you've got a decent crew, and as long as I think I use a concealment directive as well, but that's still, you're still, even if they have a concealment directive, you don't, but you have bounty low noise exhaust, you're still going to massively outspot them. And you see here, left alive at the end of the game, I'm just able to absolutely just wreak havoc on these guys. Just be able to do darting runs in, spot, move out, go back in, spot, move out, and it's pretty much given us, well, nearly 10k spotting. Not even 10k spotting, man. Seriously, need to get good at the game. But in this 10v10, remember, this is a 10v10, and this is, again, another situation where, obviously, a gun rammer would be nice. But, again, I think, like, the fact that throughout the game, me getting maybe spots that I wouldn't have otherwise have got, massively makes up for not having the gun rammer, and I do genuinely think that this is the best setup for the EBR. And by all means, I'm not the greatest EBR player. I never claim to be, and I definitely don't think that. I'm a fairly average EBR player, but I would definitely say that an all-out spotting setup is definitely the way forward. And I even think with that, you can obviously, because it's an EBR, you can still do damage. Like, it's not like you can't. And because you're in an EBR, you pretty much dictate the pace of the engagement, like I said before. So you can get out, wait that extra second or whatever it takes you to reload, go back in and take the shot. It's just literally one more little loop round before you go back in. It's not the end of the world. And yeah, if you have, your mileage may vary. If you do think, Max, you're absolutely stupid, why would you not take a gun rammer? Then please do let me know in the comments, because yeah, I am a bit stupid. But anyway, let's go take a very quick look at the post-game stats, and then we will jump into the garage just so I can show you the equipment setup and show you the effect it has on the vehicle. So there we go, guys. That was a very, very nice game in the EBR, and like I said, because it was ranked, we didn't get end up getting any badges. I'm pretty sure if that was a random, we would have got a oh god, what's it called? Patrol duty. We were one off a scout, but again, if it was a random battle, then there would have been 15 enemy tanks. So the chance of me being able to spot one more, being able to spot one more is probably relatively high. That would also have been an ace tanker. We got 1,404 base XP. And if we look at what garage.net here, the ace tanker is 1277 at the moment. I played this game yesterday, so it won't have changed by over 100. But yeah, also, obviously, because it was a ranked battle, it was only 10v10. So I genuinely think if that was a random, obviously, I know it wouldn't have gone exactly the same way. But if you kind of scale it, that's obviously nearly like maybe a 14,000 spotting game and maybe 2k damage. So really, really not too shabby. And I just wanted to show this game because it showed the great ability of the EBR just to, just probe and just get some absolute insane spots. And sometimes I play this thing and I think, oh god, I make a play and I go, oh god, I think I just got spotted. And using the bounty low noise exhaust, it just doesn't happen. You just seem to just not get spotted ever. It's great. Other than obviously other tier 10 lights, but sometimes even that surprises you. So yeah, 11 shots fired, 7 hits, 6 penned, 1,461 damage. But like I say, this is not about the damage. 9,545 assisted. We pretty much got assisted on every single enemy tank. And we did make a profit, although I was using battle payments and I think I had personal reserve on as well. So, but you don't play tier 10s to make credits. And then obviously because it was ranked, we got some chevrons. Yay! But yeah, that was this game in the EBR. Let's go jump into the garage and I'll show you the equipment and show you what kind of effect it has on the stats quickly. So nice and quickly, guys, like I said, I'll try not to keep you for too long. Bounty exhaust system, or low noise exhaust if you haven't got any bounty equipment. Bounty optics and CVS. The reason CVS is in the scouting slot is obviously because I have no need with the other 2 pieces of bounty equipment. I would recommend that if you don't have any bounty equipment, I'd probably put the coated optics in the improved scouting slot and just use the CVS in the regular slot. The bounty low noise exhaust, again, I can't quote the exact numbers for the non-bounty. It gives you an extra 9% camo whilst moving. So my camo's at 55% whilst moving. And even after firing, it's at 11%, which does sometimes surprise me when I do actually fire. View range is up here at 432. 100% would recommend using premium consumable on this tank. Like, I think you're stupid not to. Directives-wise, you can either use concealment one, or you can use an optics one as well. Optics, taking off the concealment takes you down to 53% camo, which is still insane, but takes you up to 442 meters view range. I would say in a flat out like EBR versus EBR, both are kind of do the same thing, because obviously you lose a bit of camo, but you spot a bit earlier, or vice versa, you keep a bit of camo, but spot a bit later. So I would say it's probably either which way, it doesn't really matter. But definitely, this is the setup I would recommend. Obviously, if you do want to play this tank as more of a damage dealer, you can drop for optics. You can drop optics. You can drop for a rammer. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could drop for... you could drop for vents so that your gun is improved. And also, it does help with view range. But I would say that this is the best setup for pure scouting all out and out. I mean... if you really fancied it, vert stabs, but I really wouldn't recommend that because your dispersions whilst moving is just so insane. Anyway, and yeah, other than that, I hope you have enjoyed the video, guys. Please let me know in the comments if you would do anything differently. Like I say, if you would recommend taking a rammer or not. If you are new to the channel, then please do consider subscribing. Only takes a second. Obviously, hit notifications, and if you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.